Hello, Facebook, YouTube folks. Hello, TikTokers. Let's get ready to do this. I am ready for today. Hopefully, you guys are too. What's up, Maya Reeds? How are you? YouTube and Facebook, make sure you speak when you come in because I won't be able to see when you join. What's up, Donna Ski, Gemini? Good to see you. What's up, DJ Conchita? Hi, Jennifer Cotton. Good to see you as well. Hey, Carol Shaw. Good to see you. Hello, folks. What's up? Coolest mom ever. How are you guys? What's up, Cam? You doing okay? Can you all believe it's only been 12 hours since I was live with you on TikTok? What's up, AJW? You have 15 minutes to listen. Love that. Blue Nevada. Love that. Hey, good morning, Linda. Hey, Kimmy Cakes. Hello, Mary Shaw. Good morning. So YouTube and Facebook, remember, I can't see when you join. So unless you comment and say hi, I can't greet you. So hopefully you will speak. Hello, Aaliyah. What's up, superstar? That's okay. No worries. What's up, Tracy? Hey, Susie. How are you? What's up, MG Brock? Win Dixie. Good to see you. Thank you for sharing. I've already been up to some good trouble this morning. Hey, Fran Aguilera. Good to see you as well. Salt and Sassy. Good to see you. Hey, Marky Farah. What's up, 2409? How is everyone? How many of you guys just watched Hakeem Jeffries' speech? I have, Donoski. I have. Yeah. So, Linda, we'll talk about that in just a second. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Hey, Susie Reyes, how are you? Good to see the YouTube folks getting on here. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Hey, Lisa. Yeah. You missed it. So I just watched it. We're going to talk a little bit about it as well. You guys like the graphic today? So I did, superstar. I did. Thanks, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Good morning, Dilgrave. How are you? Will it jack your BP? No, I don't think so, Melgrave. I don't think so. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Hey, Mrs. Henderson. Yeah, so we're going to talk. So I do want to talk about of Hakeem Jeffries' press conference that he just did. Hey, Candy, good to see you. Hey, Scott. And then I want to talk about some other things. So let me tell you, I'll just take 1 second and explain the background today. So, as Hakeem Jeffries was talking today, hey, Deborah Richards, hey, Melgrave, as he was talking today, and he said, I'm not going to be distracted, and I'm not going to be disassociated. I'm not going to be, kind of off guard by all of the things that you're doing. Because we've all said that the goal is to overwhelm people. We've all said that, right? And he says, I'm just not going to. And he said, we just have to focus on the reality is that what they're trying to do isn't winning, even though the press wants to make it seem like it is. They're losing in court. They're losing in Congress. There hasn't been a single Project 2025 bill that's actually been passed, right? And so he made some valid points. Hey, Hilda. But the other thing that got me was about they didn't facilitate it. They voted for it, Kay. And here's my thing. I'm not going to be angry about a congressman getting censored. I just don't care. We know that the Republican Party has been using censorship as a political tool, a partisan tool over the last couple of years. You know what I mean? It's just a distraction. It's just a distraction. And so he doesn't care. I don't care. But one of the things when I heard Hakeem Jeffries talking today, and he was saying, I'm not going to get disassociated. I'm not going to get, what did he say? I'm not going to get disassociated. I'm not going to get, distracted. Right. He made a good point because the reality is this, right? Good morning, P. Jones. So think about this, you guys. This is the reason that I have the picture up here that I do. Remember when in all the Die Hard movies, in the very beginning, John McCain is running around chasing down different things, right? Whether it is, whether it is different boom booms that have been placed with pink dye in them, whether it is buildings exploding, whatever, right? And then he has to stop and go, wait, all of this is distracted. Why are we taking what's actually happening? Because think about this, especially in the second Die Hard movie, if you remember, all of this is going on and they are driving these big ass trucks full of gold through the middle of the city. People are so distracted by those things. They're literally driving big ass trucks full of gold bars through the city in front of your face. And I think that's a prudent lesson for us to kind of pay attention to right now. What are they doing right in front of your face that's not making the news, that's not getting everybody's attention? What's going on with the money? Because that's what we know is it's always about the grift. It's always about the grift. It's always about the money. Always. And they're literally going to get us upset, right? About censorship or about executive orders that actually don't mean shit, that are going to get challenged in court. And here's what's crazy. These executive orders will get a ton of press when he first signs them, and then they'll get almost no press when they're defeated in court. So it leaves the American people with this idea that somehow he's done all of these things that are so negatively impactful to people, when in reality, he's getting his ass kicked in court every time we turn around. Sissy, drink the water Tutu gave you, baby. Right? So I wanted this morning just to come on and kind of give, no, that's Mila. I gave her some water, but she's not drinking it. I want her to take a sip of some water. So, we need to be mindful of those things, that there are bigger things that are happening right in front of your face, right? Yes, baby. You want what? Oh, you want to watch Moana? Okay, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Come on. You want to watch Moana? Yeah, you can.
I not want me papa.
You want what?
I not want me papa.
Okay. She got her whole opinion. What's up, Mom? Right. Not the art of the deal, the art of deflection, the art of distraction, rather. Right? What? Okay. Get them in the bag and bring them to me. So this is the part that I really wanted us to keep in mind. When Hakeem Jeffries, he said something that every Democrat should be running with right now. Excuse the pun when I said running with, right? But this is what he said. He said Republicans are on the run. When it comes to Republicans are on the run. Good morning, T. When it comes to the economy, Republicans are so on the run, they won't even have town halls in their own communities, right? Right? And so when we talk about that, that's why they don't want to talk about all the other things, right? Town halls are on the run. And this is why, so a couple of things. You remember how we've been talking about what do we need to do and what can we do? Good morning, Stacey D. So check this out. So Democratic folks should be holding town halls in those areas. You can have the whole bag, baby. Take these and then you can come back for some more. Here, I'll give you another one. No worries. Here. Okay. So listen, Democratic people that are already in Congress, Democratic elected officials, Democratic candidates, progressive candidates who should be holding those town halls in their place. If your Republican representative won't have a town hall, if they don't want to talk to you, if they don't want to share with you what's going on, what's not going on, hey, Amy, then I will, right? And then second, if those Democrats won't do it, you do it. You do not have to have elected representatives put on the town hall. You can put on the town hall. Nope, I haven't seen the Onion's post. I probably won't, to be honest. I don't follow a lot of the news stuff because I just pick and choose. So listen, here's what we're looking at. If Republican and GOP representatives don't want to hold town halls, if they are on their run from their constituents, then Democratic representatives in those communities or Democratic candidates in those communities that are going to run, you hold town halls. You step in there, you talk to the community, and listen, don't just show up with nothing. When is the last time you saw a public official, a representative show? I know it is, the Onion is satirical, but when is the last time, what's up, Denise? When is the last time you saw an elected official show up at a town hall, right? And actually have printed up information for constituents? What if Democratic candidates showed up in town halls and they could actually show the people in that community what percentage of their state's education budget comes from the federal government? What if they could show what programs in that state are funded and how much of that funding is coming from the federal government? I downloaded the Excel spreadsheets today myself. So if I can get those numbers, so can you. So take those numbers, go into those communities and show people the numbers, print them off, give them the resources. Don't just say it, because when you say it, they don't believe it. But let them read it. Let them see it. Give them the resource to go fact check you. Give them something in their hand to take home with and ponder on, something to share with the neighbor next door. You got it?
I do it now.
Okay, baby. Thank you. So these are things that as I was listening to Hakeem Jeffries today, that came to mind, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's right. Republicans are on the run when it comes to town halls. They're either not going to have them, or they're going to have them and then blame it on Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and George Soros for anybody that is disagreeing with them, and swear up and down if they've got pink or blue hair that they didn't come from there, right? Hi, Diana Harshbarger, right? Right. This is the deal, that all they are looking at is the grift. All they are looking at is how can they make the most money. So look at everybody that has been nominated or confirmed. Go look at those individuals, because I promise you there's something in the works where they get the money. We know it's Elon, and we've all talked about that and focused on it, but how is everybody else? How is everybody else getting their money? Okay, so let me tell y'all something. Back in 2017-ish, 2016-ish, I was doing some Facebook Lives at the time, and I had found this LLC that Linda McMahon had set up. It was set up with one employee. It was herself and one employee. They had given, I believe, don't quote me, but something like $6 million to Donald Trump at that time. And after that, that's when she became the head of the Small Business Administration, right? And but here's what was interesting: there was nothing else. That little company that she set up didn't do shit else. It just gave Donald Trump this money, and the guy, the one employee that it had, he ended up getting an office in the Trump administration. A position. It was like $117,000 a year, $170,000 a year, or whatever. Now she's the Secretary of Education, right? But back then she started out. You
I
want?
eat them.
Okay, how do you ask me, baby?
I want more.
Yes. So, but that's how it started out, right? So isn't it interesting that? So, and all I did, I don't even remember how I ended up finding her and finding this LLC, and the only person, it had one employee. Right? What's up, Sunshine to Peach? Yeah, this is it. Okay. But when we talk about these things, right? This is how you educate folks, and you let them know what's happening and what's going on. So I have some information that I want to share with you all. Feel free to take notes, because I'm going to give you some state specific information. Okay. Some of this is already linked in the link tree. Some of it is not, because it downloaded from the government's website today. And so it's in an Excel spreadsheet that I have to upload. Hold on, let me take a drink. Hold on, here we go. What's up, Receive Grace? Good to see you. Hey, Past License CJ. All right. Yeah, I know, Denise. We're on our way. So again, the graphic today, Bruce Willis and Hans and Simon are here to remind us that it is always about the money, and don't be distracted by the distractions. Like, listen, Hakeem Jeffries, they asked him specifically about this executive order that we're expecting today that's going to get rid of the Department of Education. Well, first, let's fact check that. Number one, an executive order cannot get rid of the Department of Education. You can't get rid of the Department of Education with an executive order. It's not possible. Okay. So Trump will sign this executive order. It'll make people pissed off. It'll have people talking. It'll have people scared. It'll have people whatever, right? And then it will go to court. It'll go to court and he'll lose. And the media won't cover it, right? The media won't cover it the way that they're going to cover him doing this damn executive order yet. Order. The media won't put it in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 news cycles, right? Christine's fed up. Remember, listen, watch your words. Watch your words. Are you speaking something that you actually want to happen or not? I swear, I sometimes I just want to shake the shit out of y'all. Stop speaking things you don't want to happen. Stop saying, oh, I bet they're going to do this next. And I bet this is going to happen to such and such next. Stop doing that when it's negative. Dear God, I say this to y'all every damn day. Every day I tell you, be responsible with your words. Why are you talking about things you don't want to happen? And then you wonder why we are where we are. Come on, we got this, y'all. I know that it is difficult, and it's not about just, claiming positivity and not believing reality. It's not that. You can be aware of what can happen, but not speak it. You understand? Right, Donna Ski. This is why we don't have nice things. Hey, John. Okay. How do we respond if he stops listening to the judiciary? I don't know that that's a thing where we respond. I think that becomes a law enforcement, legal, maybe even military issue. Okay, this is the last one. Okay, no more after this. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. There. Okay, no more. That's it. Got gummies. Right. So we have to stay focused on all the things that we need to be doing. Right. Just one more, Tutu. And then I'll say, this is your last one. She'll say, I heard you. I heard you. And listen, do you see what's happening, y'all? One day he's putting in tariffs. The next day, oh, he's pausing them. Well, why is that? So he can say, oh, I paused them. Or he can say, oh, I gave manufacturers a 30-day break. Well, they wouldn't need a 30-day break if you didn't put up the damn tariff to start with, right? Okay. So just to remind you, oh, wow. Okay, so there's been a pew at a USPS center that just came across my screen. One person was unalived. Can somebody tell me if that's like right now? Because sometimes the notifications can be late. But let me just look real quick, y'all. Okay, so that was last night. That was last night in Seattle. That's in Seattle. Hold on, let me just look, because sometimes the notifications come late. So Seattle, Washington is where it happened, and it's a USPS employee is suspected of unaliving a coworker and then injuring themselves and unaliving themselves. So unalived a coworker, unalived themselves in Seattle. Is this here? Yeah, USPS, 27th Avenue South. There you go. All right. Okay. It just came across and I wanted to see if it was a right now thing or whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Let's dive into the money. Okay. Candy, we're just really kind of getting started when we're going to talk about schools and education and this executive order and what is and what isn't. Okay. All right. So today, just know that there's going to be an executive order, and that executive order is going to say that they are dismantling the Department of Education. Also know that the president cannot dismantle the Department of Education with an executive order. It requires an act of Congress to do such a thing. Okay. So that would be number one. Okay. Number two, know that once this executive order is done, it's going to go to court. That's it. Where he will lose in court, right? And then we're going to be right back where we started. The difference is what are you going to do in that time frame? What are you going to do during this time? Are you going to talk about it and get all worked up about it and be distracted by it and fall into the thing about it? Or are you going to be a disseminator of accurate information? Because you have the ability to do that. No, he doesn't, Brianna. He knows what's going to happen. But this is part of the distract and disassociate plan. He knows what it can't do. He knows, but they don't care. This is the part about distract and disassociate. Hakeem Jeffries had a great point today. Y'all, we almost 50 damn days into this. We are almost 50 days into this, and they haven't really gotten shit done. When they say they're going to fire 80,000 VA employees, that hasn't happened yet, has it? Right? When they say they're going to get rid of whatever, that hasn't happened yet, has it? When they say they're going to downsize the 10 regions of Social Security and get them down to 4, it hasn't happened yet, has it? They've lost the majority of the lawsuits, and they just lost the Supreme Court decision yesterday. You follow me? So if we're keeping score right now, the people and democracy is winning. The people and democracy are winning. Okay? So I think it's important for us to just sit down for a minute and kind of breathe for a second, right? So sustaining a smile, when you say they are dismantling Social Security as we speak, there are plans to close different Social Security offices. I'm aware of those plans. What I also know is those plans are being fought in individual states. That's what I know. And so right now, people are getting their checks. Well, so T, here's the thing though. Part of what they can do, right? He can't dismantle the Department of Education. Now, with Linda McMahon in front of it, they can make all kinds of changes that throws it into disarray, but they can also, if any of those things violate the funding that Congress has already allocated for specific programs, that can be a problem. That can also end up back in court. Okay? So everybody just take a deep breath for a moment and remember where we are. Okay? They might have grandiose plans, but very little of it has come to fruition. Right? So we need to keep that in mind. Now, the question is, are you going to be someone right now who is communicating all the negativity to people and making people feel hopeless and overwhelmed? Or are you going to be a level setter? Are you going to be someone that is a balancing measure, a mechanism that puts people grounded, that gets people centered? And that doesn't mean that you ignore the reality. It's just, okay, so listen, you ever had a damn dog in your neighborhood that barks all the time? And when that dog barks, a couple of the other dogs bark. But one of them damn dogs really does bite. So the dogs are barking, right? But when you hear that one dog that barks all the damn time, you just be like, I ain't got time. I ain't got time, right? I'm not focusing on that damn barking dog. When this dog over here barks, I'm going to pay attention. Hey, Sandra. What's up, Rockin' Nana? You hear what I'm saying? So it is about, and we talked about this last night when we were on TikTok, right? We talked about this, right? Right, Stacey. So we have to be, what did I tell you? Contact today. This is the day to contact your Board of Education, your local school districts, your state Board of Education, and ask them what are their plans. What are their plans once this executive order happens? What are their plans when instructions come down from the administration on what they should or shouldn't be doing? right? So for example, I'm going to give you just an example. Somebody, and I'm going to take the first one that I see, because y'all know that's how I do, because y'all are overwhelming. Give me one state. Somebody give me a state, one state, any state. I'm going to take the first state I see, Texas. That's the one I saw first. I saw Texas. We're going with Texas. All right. So here comes the question, especially since Texas is one of the 17 states that are pushing this federal lawsuit, right? So let's talk about Texas, where federal funding is $2,430 per student for the state of Texas. So for the state of Texas, over $2,400 per student comes from federal dollars. Okay. Now, also in the state of Texas, 18.3% of school district revenue comes from federal funding. So that's almost 20%. So the question for your school district is, if something happens to the Department of Education, can you share with me your plan to make up the difference in the 18.3% funding? And you can actually look to see what those programs were funded for. So if there were certain dollars, for example, let me pull up the spreadsheet. All right, so let's just say there is special education grants to states. Did you know that that's a thing? And you can look it up. So in the state of Texas, the estimate for 2025, okay, is $12,818,535. Y'all hear me? That is the amount of grants, federal grants for 2025. That's the estimate, okay? $12,818,535 from federal grants for special education in the state of Texas. If you have a child on a 504, an IEP, I would be asking the state of Texas, and I'd be asking my state, my school district, how are they going to replace $13 million? And if they get it, I would like to see how that money is going to be allocated. Which school districts are going to get that money? Which school districts aren't going to get that money? What's going to happen to my child? How many, like, what are you actually going to keep up? Are you planning to enforce the IDEA law? Like, what are your plans? Be proactive. Do not wait for them to dismantle your children's programs. Be proactively asking these questions. Got it? So that is what you have to do. And you can ask, you can FOIA a breakdown of where that money is being spent from the state level all the way down to your district. And then you can see what your district is spending that money on. You have the ability to FOIA that information. So sustaining a smile, you said the Texas state government is putting it in their pockets. Explain what you mean by that. Explain what you mean by that. I'm going to invite you to come up. Well, I can't. Yours is set so well I can't. So what I would like for you to share with me, I would love for you to request to come up. Because when you say they're putting it in their pockets, this is something that I hear people say all the time. But A, most of the time people have no proof of that at all. B, whose pockets are they putting it in? Do you mean the state government's pocket? Do you mean specific people in the legislature or in the governor's office pockets? Like, what do you mean exactly? Because those are the types of statements that have very little validity, accuracy, and evidence to back them up, that aren't productive when we talk about how do we move things forward and hold our elected officials and our governments accountable. So I would love for you to be able to join the panel and share with me what you mean by that.
You too.
Yeah.
What's my name?
And when I'm done, I will. Hey, Sandra, good to see you, right? I think I said hi already, but so that's what I'm talking about. So do you see how it got very, very specific? Very, very specific. I can now talk to my district for my state. I can say, I know what percentage of our state's education funding is federal dollars. I know that, right? And then I can say, hey, I'm specifically interested in these programs that I know are federally funded. Can you share with me what your plan is? Do you, as a district, agree with getting rid of these things? You see what I'm saying? Be on the offensive, but go in equipped with information. Don't go in and just say, hey, can you guys tell me, if we're going to be okay? Don't do that. Come in specific. These are the questions that I have. What are your plans in my district on how we're going to handle education? How many of you guys were aware that you could download the Excel spreadsheets that tell you exactly how much money your state is getting that is federally funded? And you can actually see how much money is going by certain programs for each state. Because you can. So I'm doing it literally right now. So let me do the second state that I saw was Maryland. We did it down south. Let's go up north, right? We'll go to Maryland. So the department, let me see, for Maryland, Department of Education, right? Shoo-wee. Hold on, because I have two different spreadsheets up and a map. Because, you can never have too much information. I mean, you can, but, just saying, you can. Okay, so in the state of Maryland, for special education specifically, you are looking at $2,258,596 in the state of Maryland, specifically in special education grants. That's federally funded. That's actually an increase of 1.1%. That's not always the case. You're one of the few states where that increased for 2025, whereas other states, it actually decreased. Okay. So you want to know that information. When I look at your percentage of your funding, 11.4% of school district revenue for Maryland came from federal dollars. Now, this map that I'm reading from now about the percentages, it's already in my link tree. It's been in my link tree for a minute. The other two are Excel spreadsheets that I'm happy to upload to a Google Drive and put them in the link tree as well. But you want to have specific information. What are the other programs that you guys are concerned about, right? Because, of course, I went to special education because that resonates with me specifically, right? Because I got my girl. So I want to know. Let me go. So, and you can break it down by state. So let me just show you. Somebody give me another state. Somebody give me another state. Florida. All right, Melinda, let's rock with Florida. That's Cheryl's stomping grounds over there. All right, so if I go to Florida, I can actually show you the entire breakdown. So that is Guam, Hawaii, Florida. All right. So Florida, 17.1%. Hey, facts people, thank you for rating. Appreciate you guys. Glad to see you. All right. So Florida, 17.1% of your school district revenue came from federal funding. All right. Hey, Mama Dukes. All right. So when I look at Florida, what does that translate to, and what is it made of? And I'll share with you. I want to make sure I can see my other folks too. Rock and Nana, the map is already in my link tree, right? It's an Axios article that has a link to an interactive map. These spreadsheets, I got them from the Department of Education, their website, but it downloads them. And so I'll have to upload them and then put the link in there. Okay. Appreciate you guys for coming in and rating. So hold on a second, Miss New York. So let me just be clear. When you say, will they cut that? We don't know, but here's the first what we're talking about is the fact that there's going to be this executive order. This executive order is going to say dismantle the Department of Education, which an executive order cannot do. Okay. An executive order cannot, yes, beach bum, and an executive order can't dismantling it. Okay. and states can get more funding because they don't use all the funding available. 100%. Right, Cheryl. Now, when I look at Florida, I'm just going to walk through all these different subtotals and areas. So grants to local educational agencies. Listen to this. In Florida, grants to local educational agencies for fiscal year 2024 to 2025, it is $5,504,989, right? There is a migrant state agency program. Oh, I'm lying. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm lying. Why did that say amount change? That's wrong. They have a typo in here. The 2025 estimate, I'm lying. Hold on. The 2025 estimate for Florida grants to local educational agencies is $1,007,746,276. Yes, there is. And so, well, the spreadsheet, it automatically downloads. Okay. Marky Johnson, do you want me to reach through this phone and shake you right now? Every time I see you all make a statement that is negative, as if it is a manifesting statement, I'm going to stop and call you out. I really am. Because y'all going to learn to watch your words. I can't handle the negativity. I can't do it. I have to stay focused in the present moment. Okay? Jesus. All right. So listen, Florida, your 2025 estimate is $1,007,746,276. That's the amount of federal grants to local educational agencies in Florida. There is a state agency program for migrants. That is $17,209,779, right? There's a state agency program for neglected and delinquent children. $1,042,918 for neglected and delinquent children. $1 million, right? So the subtotal and the category that they put this in is education for the disadvantaged. All right. So the subtotal for of education for the disadvantaged in Florida is $1,025,998,973. So Florida, for your disadvantaged children, some of the most vulnerable among us. What's up, Jessica Simone? How are you replacing $1 billion in funding from the federal government? How are you spending it now? Like, that's two conversations y'all could be having. Ask the state of Florida, how are they spending $1 billion that they are being given for disadvantaged children? How are they spending it now? What are they going to do if they don't get it? Right. And do you need more? Right, Cheryl. The next one. And so for those of you all who do not know, Cheryl is a huge education advocate when it comes to IEPs and 504s. She's actually going to be joining me on a live podcast next week. And there will be like a toll-free number that people can call in and actually ask questions and things like that. So she will be on with me next week. All right. Now, I'm getting there, guys. I can't do every state at once. Give me just a second. Now, there's another one, what they call impact aid. So they have impact aid, which is basic support payments. There's impact aid payments for children with disabilities, and there's impact aid construction. All right. Now, in the state of Florida, impact aid payments for children with disabilities is $1.5 million. Impact aid basic support systems is $9 million. Hey, facts still matter. Thank you guys for rating today. Glad to have you. Good to see you. Tell Steve I said, hey, been missing him. So the total in impact aid in federal funding from the federal government to the state of Florida, that number is $10.6 million. We're only 2 lines in, y'all. And do you like, you see what we're talking about? This is how you become informed, and you don't need to know every line on here, right? New Jersey does get funding. 7.7% of New Jersey school district revenue came from federal funding. So New Jersey does get funding, 7.7%. Guys, it's very, very important when you all are saying things. What's up, facts people? That you know, right? You got, come on, y'all, be responsible. If you're on TikTok, you're an adult, right? You got to be. So again, it's about becoming informed. So Tommy, you said your son is autistic, you're worried about him. Got it. Right? I feel that. Bella has an IEP, right? But when you say you're concerned, what have you done with that concern? As a result of being concerned, have you contacted your local school district yet? Have you asked your local school district about the budget that has been allocated for them? Are they using all of the budget that school that has available to them? What's up, Lulu Bell? What are their plans if federal funding for their district changes? How do they plan to make up the difference in that funding? How are they going to ensure that the state continues to get funding to that school if it's not federally allocated, if it is not federally enforced? So those are the questions that I would have. When people say, I'm scared, I'm worried, I'm concerned, all of that. Yeah, but so Kaylin, that's not specific enough to me. When they say, oh, kids are going to continue to receive their services, what services? What's up, MBM? Facts don't matter. Thank you guys for rating. What services and in what manner? And who's gonna and what's and at what level? They're gonna continue to receive services. Is it the same services? Is it at the same level? Is it with the same people? You see what I'm saying? We cannot take answers in generalities. You have to have specifics. People can say, oh yeah, you're going to continue to receive services, but all those services going to be the same, and all those services going to meet the federal guidelines that are currently enforced, especially for children that are on 504s and IEPs. You see what I'm saying? And remember that your school board that's who makes policy. Who's running your school district? Who's your superintendent for your school district? You follow me? So these are some of the things that you have to be talking about. So how are we framing this? How are we framing this situation today? The first thing that we're saying is, hey, yes, there's going to be an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. The way that I look at that is like this. Okay, let's just say that you're married, right? Let's just say that you're married. Okay, everybody pretend that right now you have a legally binding marriage, and your significant other prints out a letter, puts executive order at the top of it, and says, this marriage is dissolved. Is it really? Can you just print out one of those things and say it's dissolved? Or is there a legal process that you have to go through because there was a legal process that created it? Right. There was, that's why we have a legislative branch. We have a legislative branch and we have a judicial branch. So he can sign an executive order and waste his damn ink that's going to waste your dollars because they're going to go to court, right? They're going to go to court. The judge in court's going to say, hell no, you can't get rid of the Department of Education with an executive order, right? And then I dare them to take it to Congress and let your Republican representatives stand in your face and tell you they're going to take away education. Hans Gruber and Simon have taught you better. So you know what questions I automatically start to have? I start to want to know what Christian private schools are standing in the background ready to get money with voucher programs. I start going, what schools, what states have already put through legislation for voucher programs? I immediately start to go, who benefits from this? Because somebody wants this money. Y'all got it? That's where it's coming from. Follow the money always in all things. You follow the money. So when you say it's got a hearing date, I'm not sure what you're referring to. But it won't matter. Here's what we know about vouchers is they don't work. What happens with vouchers is the rich kids that have already been going to private school now get to go to private school at a damn discount, and very few of the underserved and economically disadvantaged children end up going to those schools. That's what we know. They don't. And what do you do when there are voucher programs and you don't necessarily have the same public education system and you don't have public education transportation? Who's getting your children to school? Who's coming to pick up the kids and on the bus? Does everybody have a car to get in the car line? Does everybody's job accommodate them being in the carpool line? Because you know you got to be in the damn carpool line early or you're going to be there even longer. So, right. So, Brianna, I would be looking. I bet you money there are people already opposing that bill. We have to not be looking for creating something new. I would bet you money that there are already organizations that have a petition going about that hearing. There are people who already have organizations that are against those vouchers. Find them in your state. Okay, look, I'm just going to Google while we're sitting here on here. I'm just going to go, watch this, Texas organizations against school vouchers. So there's the Intercultural Development Research Association that literally has a whole little thing that says stop vouchers. And it says, get resources here to help Texas say no to vouchers. Right? The Texas Association of School Administrators has a whole article about it, right? And by the way, the American Federation of Teachers is an incredible union. They are always a great resource for this type of thing. Always. There's another organization called Raise Your Hand Texas. Vouchers are bad policy for Texas. So do you see, all I did was type in Texas organizations against school vouchers. And all you have to do is replace Texas with your state. And then you can find existing organizations that are against school vouchers in your state. And then you can join a fight that somebody else is already spearheading. You can get additional resources to communicate information to your neighborhood and to your community. You have now found your people with one search. And then you can be equipped to find out what can you do to assist. You see what I'm saying, folks? These are the types of things that you can do. It's just about being focused and not paying attention to the distractions. When people say, I don't know what I can do, but they know every executive order that Trump has passed so far, the point for me is you're focused on the wrong thing. If you don't know things that you can do, if you don't know where to go to phone bank or where to go to organize or where to go to whatever, if you don't know, but you can tell me what 10 Democrats voted to censure Green, we got a problem. Because those damn 10 Democrats are not relevant today. You follow me? What do you know about what's happening and what do you not know? Where are you spending your emotional currency and your time? If it is in logging and tracking every single negative thing that happens, it's not exciting. It's not, listen, let me just say this. It is not as exciting to look up the facts and the information and become equipped with things. It's not as exciting to pick up the phone. Thank you, Pasha, for subscribing, and call your representatives or send an email. It's not as exciting to write letter to the editors. It's not as exciting to do that as it is or emotional as it is to get in a TikTok, a YouTube, a Facebook, or whatever, and be like, that motherfucker didn't, right? It's not as exciting. Right? And here's what I'm saying. I'm not fussing about that. Here's what I'm saying is that oftentimes that feels good because you know that you're not alone. Yeah, Brianna, you can call them and ask their offices. You can call them and ask your legislators. What's up, Sonny? You can call them, Brianna, and ask what are their positions. You can email them and ask in writing how they intend to vote. You can get together. Like I keep telling y'all, do you all know what the Heritage Foundation's PAC did prior to the Senate confirmation hearings? Do you know what they did in late December? They created an online petition. Nope, I want you to email Brianna. But do you know what they did? They created an online petition. That online petition specifically said, and it told these senators that they wanted the confirmation hearings approved and done as fast as they possibly could, right? And they got 100,000 signatures, and then they sent them all to each of those congressmen. And then they got their ass up on C-SPAN and talked about it. Yep. And Cheryl, what you're just talking about when you say meetings at local libraries are free. Now, some of them aren't, depending upon which room you need, but some are. But let me just tell you, this is part of the stuff that we talked about in the Get Into Good Trouble workshop that I did a couple of nights ago. The video for that workshop is in YouTube. It's on my YouTube and it's in my link tree. I literally give multiple suggestions on places where you can hold community forums, where you can hold community get-togethers, where you can give them information that is important to them. Can you imagine if you had a one-pager, and on that one-pager, you outlined the overall budget that of federal funding that comes to your state, how much of that budget is for special education, how much of that budget is for disadvantaged children, how much of that budget is for homeless children and youth education? Because did y'all know that that's a thing? Imagine if you just had like 5 really impactful bullet points, right? And then beside it, you listed what's happened, the top 5 things that's happened in other states that have implemented school vouchers. And you gave it to people and you said, hey, this is what they're trying to do in your state, in your community. Do you have children that would be affected? Right? Hold on, sorry. While Tennessee's so pros, but there's a lot of things that you can do during the day, even if you don't have a car. You can absolutely go to mobilize.us and you can phone bank from home. You can text bank from home, and you can do that in states where you're not. Awesome, Lulu Bell. You hear me? You can do things from home. Right. Can I share this with you? And it's, hey, I'm not asking you for nothing. I just want to give you something, right? So let me scroll down here real quick to my home state of Tennessee. Just so that y'all know, the 2025 estimate grand total for the Department of Education is $183 billion. It's $183,440,189,670. Can y'all imagine? Let me pop up here to Tennessee real quick. Things that I would automatically pick out, that if it were me going to put it on my little fact sheet for people, especially depending upon where I live. So like if you live in a rural community, yeah, she's watching Moana too. All of those things. Thank you, Marky. I appreciate that. So Tennessee. So let's go to the map. Let's go to the map first. I already know the number, but I'm going to go to the map just to show you. So in Tennessee, 19.2% of Tennessee's school district revenue came from federal funding. So almost 20%, 19.2% of Tennessee's federal funding came from, Tennessee school district revenue came from federal funding, right? Now, let's look at what that looks like for Tennessee. So in Tennessee, you have subtotal education for the disadvantaged, right? And I got to highlight my little lines here so I can look at what I'm looking for. All right. So that includes grants to local education agencies, state agency programs for migrants, state agency programs for neglected and delinquent children. The total for 2025 is $342,684,362, which is a 1.6% increase from fiscal year 2024 to fiscal year 2025. Okay. Let's go to rural and low income school programs. $4 million in the state of Tennessee comes from federal funding for rural and low income school programs. There's a small rural school achievement program. That's another $176,000. There's homeless children and youth education, $2.3 million in Tennessee. Mila, not so loud, babe. Thank you. 2.3 million to educate children and youth who are unhoused in the state of Tennessee. Do we really think that money should go away? Do we think that $7.7 million in preschool grant money should go away in Tennessee? Because if it does, who's watching children so people can work? Grants for infants and families in Tennessee? Oh my Lord. Let me just tell y'all, the subtotal for special education is $311,421,555. Thanks, Cookie Prince. Yeah, preschool. Head Start. You got it. There's just so much that people don't take into account. And I'm just going to keep it real, right? America American citizens, and this country as a whole aren't really great at financial management. If we were, we would not have the debt to income ratios that we do. We would not have the deficit that we have. We just wouldn't have it, right? So here's the thing. If Joe and Sally Mae down the street can't balance their checkbook, why in the absolute hell do I want them involved with budgeting my school district? The answer is I do not. The answer is I do not. No, Dobo boy, I don't think that. Because Trump can't get rid of the Department of Education with an executive order. He can't. Yeah, I said Joe and Sally Mae. What bills do you mean? No, Congress passes the funds in the budget. And then that department determines how to use those funds within that department. And Congress can put in what can happen in certain departments versus others. But he can't, Doughboy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He can't pull funding. Congress does. And if he tries to, all he does is go to court. This is the thing, y'all. Listen, don't watch the damn distractions. He cannot undo the Department of Education. He cannot cut off federal funding because Congress passed that budget already. All that happens is he does that dumb shit and then they go to court and they waste everybody's time, everybody's dollar, and everybody is worried and upset and all the things. That's what happens. So instead of worrying about, so this is my thing. When people ask me, well, do you think he's going to do this? I am not Miss Cleo. I am not Miss Cleo. Well, but you can say that, but they're not because they just handed him a loss today, Doughboy. I know exactly who the Supreme Court is. I know who the Federalist Society is. I know who Heritage is. I know who ALEC is. I'm aware, but they don't have it in the bag because they tried a bunch of this shit his first damn administration. Y'all do know that a bill was introduced to dismantle the Department of Education last term. It was a one-liner bill, dismantle the Department of Education. Same damn bill that they did this time. It was done in the first go-round. So what can you do about it? You can ensure that in these special elections, we take back the damn house. So you get that from your state, Cam. If you want to know specifically how much your state, your district gets, right? Then you need to go to your state Department of Education. That's who. Your state can tell you how much your district gets. Yeah. And these are things that, you maybe have never ever known before. And maybe it's a good thing that we are all now asking these questions because we just were asleep at the wheel. And we let corporations and special interest groups steal the damn country. And now it's time to pump the brakes, keep the things that worked, get rid of the shit that didn't work, and rebuild and create new systems that actually serve the people. That is the opportunity that is in front of us right now. We have an incredible opportunity right now to take the things that worked, because it hasn't all been bad, get rid of the shit that doesn't work, and create something brand new. And that's what we need to be doing all the way across the board. Stop talking about everything these damn jokers do every day. Right. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. These are all things, folks, that each and every single one of us can do. Find your role, your path, and make good of it. You getting together, right? Y'all folks getting together, y'all going on an Easter egg hunt? Listen, buy some little plastic Easter eggs and put a fun fact in every single damn one about education, along with a piece of candy. This is for you, this for your mama and daddy. Right? Can you imagine little plastic Easter eggs, right, with a piece of candy and then a little piece of paper in it that says vote? Right? Get creative. I'm just saying, Jess, right? How can you impact people in a way that they can receive it? I love that, Grammy. She said, challenge accepted. Let's go. Let's get it. These are things. What's up, Slim Shady? When you held a large disability resource expos, we put info about policies in the swag bags. Exactly. That's what you do. Because people like free stuff, right? So give them free stuff, but also important stuff, meaningful stuff, things that they can use. All right. So today, the talking points are this. Yes. He is going to do an executive order that says the Department of Education is dismantled. Yes, it's a bullshit executive order because he can't do it. He can't do it. He knows he can't do it. You can see spending per student, right? But then what you also want to get into, Cam, is to find out how much of that comes from federal funding versus whatever. So yes, he's going to do an executive order today that says dismantle the Department of Education. No, that executive order can't dismantle the Department of Education. Yes, there will be a lawsuit and they will go to court, right? Right? And next, this is why you have to be local and state focused. Your fight when it comes to the Department of Education is on a local and state level. I don't know what you mean when you say, can they not take his pen? No, he's the president. No. Yep. There's another 40-day Target boycott that just started today. Yes. Well, no. So Veronica, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, give it back to the states. And I'm just going to tell you, the folks that say, yay, give it back to the states, you are the folks that I don't want involved in education. Right? Guys, when half the country is reading at a 6th grade level or below, I do not want grown-ass adults. I don't want parents. Just I don't want them. I don't want them determining what happens with my child or my grandchild's education. No, thank you. And that's not a dig at anybody. It's not. Right? I don't have like big ass master's degrees and all the other things. I don't, right? What I do know is that I am not a subject matter expert in education. Therefore, I would not want the responsibility of figuring that out for you and your children. See, I am humble enough to know that I don't know every damn thing. Okay? And I should not be in positions of expertise when I am not a subject matter expert on that thing. No, and you really don't want Moms for Liberty deciding. That's for sure. Right? So listen, when everybody says things like, "Oh, every day it's something," why are you watching every day? Why are y'all watching what he does every day? Because I'm not. The lion that I mentioned is Yuna, Yuna. The article that I wrote about it is on my Substack. Right. The most knowledgeable know just how ignorant they are. Right. Yeah. I mean, this is my thing, right? I said this last night. Somebody asked me what did I think about his address to Congress. I said, I don't think anything about it. I didn't watch it. If I know the man lies more than anything else when he opens his mouth, if I know it's only going to be full of divisiveness and vitriol and hatred and homophobia and transphobia and ableism and classism and sexism and racism and misogyny, and if I know that that's what it's going to be, why in the ever loving hell would I sit down and watch it?
Hi, Tutu.
Hi, baby. The answer is I would not, and I did not, and I have no desire to. I can follow facts and I can find out what I need to know without being immersed in it. And I'm damn sure not going to listen to the media pieces that I know are trying to trigger me. Why would you do that? Why would you intentionally give yourself over to the people that you know are trying to trigger you? Oh, Mega, he didn't just betray the Democratic Party. He's entitled to his opinion. That's just a wild ass statement to me when you say Gavin Newsom just betrayed the Democratic Party. No, he has his own damn opinion. And people that are in the same party are allowed to disagree.
I want my dummy, please.
It's not like he left and became a Trump supporter and now he loves MAGA. Hey, not right now. You have to wait. You can get some more later. Like, seriously. We have to stop making everything this end all, be all, whatever. There's an active pew pew situation at Naval Air Station in Pensacola. It was about the, oh my gosh. They asked Hakeem Jeffries about it. What did he say? Dems shouldn't what? Oh, it was on trans athletes. So Gavin Newsom was on a podcast with Charlie Kirk as the guest. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is the head of Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA is the organization that is the biggest recruitment tool of the GOP and MAGA, right? Yeah, I know, Blue Honey Pot. We saw that already, right? And so he launched this podcast with Charlie Kirk as a guest. And this is what he said, quote, I think it's an issue of fairness. I completely agree with you on that. It is an issue of fairness. It's deeply unfair. I am not wrestling with the fairness issue. I totally agree with you. And let me see. Hold on a second. he disagrees with Dems about trans athletes in sports. And let me just say this. Listen, Gavin Newsom has said favorable things about Trump before, you guys. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all don't remember that? And here's why I just keep it real. At the end of the damn day, Gavin Newsom is a middle-aged white man. There's nothing about that shit that surprises me. And I think it's dumb to even talk about it. In the 510,000 college athletes that are in the NCAA, less than 10 of them are trans. I don't give a shit what anybody says about trans athletes and what they should or shouldn't do. I think people should mind their business and focus on some stuff that has an actual every damn day impact, because that ain't one of them. If you had 510,000 grapes in your backyard and you wanted to make wine and less than 10 of them were rotten, would you give a good damn? No. And let me say this, trans athletes are not rotten. Let me be clear, they are not. That's how people want to portray them, but they are not. There are 510,000 college athletes, okay? Out of those, less than 10 are trans. Less than 10. I want people to focus on some shit that actually matters. So,
I need to mommy house. I need to mommy house.
okay, when mommy gets off, you can. So, and this is my thing. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this today, but I will happily do a live and or a podcast about trans, DSD, and intersex individuals. I'm glad you found the numbers, Cam. I will gladly do that. And I will gladly educate you all on what you do not know. I will gladly tell you just how many people, just there's the fact. The first fact is when people are born, not everybody is born either male or female. Can I just start there? Yeah, I know, user blessed. I know. I don't. When people say, oh, it's just a fact. No, it's not. It is actually a medical, biological, scientific fact that they are not. They are not. Yeah, girl, Miss Slim Shady, you got to educate folks sometimes. Yeah. So we can just start there. Yes, I would love to do that, Amy. I'm down for that. When you say all men are transgender, that's because we all start out female. That's what we do, right? But we can talk about it. We can talk about the people that are born X chromosome and nothing else. Some people that are XXX, they are like, we can do all that. So just real talk about this. I'm just tired of it. Mind your business. Mind your business. Well, what about parents? Let those parents go to do y'all even know? Like, this is nothing new. Let me just hold on. How many of you guys know about the Russian sisters in the Olympics that they thought were hold on a second. So how many of you all know about Irina and Tamara Press? How many of you all know about Irina and Tamara Press? They were prominent Soviet track and field athletes in the 1950s and 60s. And a bunch of people talked about them and just swore up and down that they had to be men or that they had to be intersex because they had masculine physiques and they dominated female events. Did y'all know that? There's a whole article on them at the National Institute for Health. How about that? See, this is what happens if you just like learn something. Education can be your friend. Irina and Tamara Press. That's their names. And they're not the only ones. And so listen, one of the things that they've said is because you can't just, and let me just say this, anatomy alone, if I look at your genitalia alone, that in and of itself does not necessarily say that you meet all the other characteristics that are assigned to being female. Maybe you have different types of genitalia and your chromosomes are different, right? So you can't just, some people are like, well, just look to see what's down there. That ain't how it works either. That is not how it works either. Okay. So that is why the NCAA has the standards that it does and the requirements. And so the requirements are, if you are a trans athlete, that you have to be on hormone suppressant medication for, I believe it's 1.5 years prior to competing. In the case of Lia Thomas was on those hormone suppressors for 2.5 years before competing. It's called a nanomomes. So hold on, let me just pull it up for y'all. It is called the nanomomes per liter. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you what it is. You want to hear it? Here it go. So we have a normal range of testosterone that happens in what we would consider the normal female normal, right? Nanomoles, right? Mel Gray, thank you. And hold on. And so what they do is when you're an athlete and you are going to perform, then you can they test you. And so you have to be under that level. So Lia Thomas actually has less testosterone in her system as a natural born female does. Isn't that something? Now, here's what's interesting about this. So I have said this before. There is a track and field athlete. And because Black people were so mad about Lia Thomas. And yes, Black people, I'm talking to you today. Because y'all know our culture likes to be real homophobic and transphobic, right? We just do. So Black folk, this one's for you. So Black people got real upset about Lia Thomas winning a race in swimming in PA, right? And y'all wanted to say, well, what about Caster Semenya? And they are not the same thing. Let me be clear, okay? Caster Semenya is not a trans athlete. Caster Semenya is an intersex or a DSD individual, okay? Lia Thomas is a trans woman. That's the difference. Now, here is the thing. Yep, and Vashti, we can talk about that too. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the right, so you can talk about the musculature, it doesn't matter. It's not the same. We have scrawny ass men the same way we have built ass women. That in and of itself is not an indicator. Right? We do not ban people from competing because they have better musculature. If that's the case, Michael Phelps would have never competed in the Olympics ever, because biologically that boy was made to swim. His arm span is abnormal. The way that he uses his lungs is abnormal. Like he's not the norm. So if we're just gonna exclude people because they have a physical advantage, then let's just get the fuck rid of sports, because everybody has an advantage. It is the same though, Desiree. It is. It's the same exact damn thing. It is, other than your prejudice. It is the same thing. An advantage is an advantage is an advantage. And the only thing that makes it different is your prejudice or your bigotry. What, baby? That's okay. I'll fix it. So let me just give you the differences between the two. Okay. So neither Leah Thomas nor Castor Semenya were born as biological anatomical females. Neither one of them were. And the reason why is Castor is intersex or DSD individual. She has an XY chromosome, which is usually considered to be male. So Castor Semenya is male, right? Well, no, it's not, Desiree. And if you want to come on up here and we can talk about facts, then we can talk about facts. Now, if you just have a prejudice that you want to hold on to, then that's totally your right. Right? If you want to talk about facts, we can do that. But if you just want to talk about your opinion rooted in your prejudice, then that you can do that. But I'm going to talk only about facts. Okay? So, and I'm going to give you a prime example. Castor Semenya is a okay, go ahead. Want me to help you? Yes, you can. I'll help you. Okay, I got you. So Castor Semenya is a woman, right? That's how she identifies. She identifies and was raised as a woman. Yeah. I hear you, babe. So, but she has an XY chromosome. XY chromosome is usually associated with males. I can show you too. That's just not true. I grew up with girls that have bodies like dudes all damn day. I grew up with girls with bodies that look like a dude all day. And I grew up with boys whose bodies look like a girl all damn day. Those are societal constructs. We have been taught that a certain look is male, that a certain look is masculine, and that's bullshit. That is a societal construct. That is not a biological anatomical fact. And that's the difference. That's the difference. Okay? So what we're going to talk about is fact, okay? Fact and facts only. I don't give a damn about how people feel. We're going to talk about facts. All right? So let me get this on for this child. Do you see her? Do you see Moana, Mila?
I see Sonic.
Do you want Sonic or Moana?
Sonic. I want Sonic.
Do you want that Sonic or the new Sonic? Do you want Sonic with Shadow and Knuckles or not?
No, Shadow and Sonic can live Minecraft Shadow and Sonic.
You want the Shadow and Sonic one?
No, Minecraft.
Girl, I don't know where that one is. You want this one?
Yeah.
Okay, here. No, wait. I don't think you can do this one. Hold on, y'all. I got to fix the baby. 1 second. I'm going to fix the baby, and then we're going to talk about it. Hold on. Legions. Low B. This one. This is the one you want.
No, I don't like that.
That's the one you were watching.
No.
You want this one? Yes?
No.
Girl, here. Then you find it. Because I think the one you're talking about is on Netflix. Here. All right. So.
I bought Moana.
What?
Moana.
You want Moana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, girl, good. Pick something easy. Do y'all know how many daggone damn Sonic movies and shows there are? Too many. That's how many. Too many. Okay, so I like to do facts. So this is what we're going to do. I got you. There she is. She's coming. All right. So when we talk about when we talk about DSD intersex individuals, the fact is that not everyone is born and they are just given that they are automatically male and female. It's not a fact. I don't care what people say. People can say, "Oh, well, the Bible says in the beginning there was man and woman, and God named it." That is not. Listen, for me, the best way that I know how God created human beings is I look at the rest of nature. We have animals that are asexual. We have animals that change their sex. We have animals that get pregnant by their damn self. We have don't we? So why do we think that all of a sudden God made us different than every other animal he created? I didn't say no. Listen, there are no rules in biology. There are no rules in biology. We can talk about what's most common, but most common doesn't make it right. Just because something is the most common doesn't mean that what's not common is somehow less than. Okay? Let's just be clear about that. So, I'm going to go ahead and give you all just a little bit of information. So, when we talk about DSDs and intersex, right? So there can be characteristics that are due to chromosomes, gonadal, which is either ovaries or testes, or genitalia differences. And they can appear at birth, or they can show up during puberty, or they can show up later in adulthood. So when you say to me that people are born one specific way, I am telling you that science and medicine says different. We know that when people, that's fine. When people develop, some of these things become apparent. We don't see them until they go through puberty or until they are later on in adult life. So just because that's not your experience, or just because you don't know that, doesn't make you right. It makes you not informed on the subject. What? Now, I wasn't always informed on the subject, and I wasn't sure how I felt about it. So here's the thing. When this started to become a topic about 7-8 years ago, right? Whenever it was, I literally was like, I don't know enough. I don't know enough, because my mind says, oh, that shouldn't be okay. But there's something in me that goes, but why wouldn't it be? Right. And so I had to ask myself, why do I have the initial response to that's not right? And for me, that initial response came from my upbringing. My initial response came from religious teachings. That's where my initial response came from. Okay. I grew up in a world where we were told God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, right? And damn sure Adam didn't become Eve and Eve didn't become Adam. That is how I came up. So when this became an issue to be talked about, to be questioned, I was like, I don't know enough. So I went looking for facts, because facts matter. Facts matter. So then I was like, well, damn, because we always think if there's a difference, then the difference is that they have both, right? Do you know how many people, as soon as we start to talk about this, assume that it means they have both organs down there, sex organs? That's what so many people think. And that ain't it either. That is not it either, right? And so when you understand that there are a variety of differences, what do you mean God is wrong? What do you mean? I don't understand what you mean when you say God is wrong. About what? The whole point is that God is not wrong. And God made some people differently than others. God made some people where they don't have XX chromosomes or XY chromosomes. God made some people why they have XX chromosomes, but they have gonads. God made some people, so no. If you're bringing it to me from a Christian God perspective, my answer to you is no, your God is not wrong. He made those folks exactly like he made them. Now, who is wrong is the raggedy ass preachers and teachers that taught people according to what they believe and not what God created. That's who got it wrong. If we are looking at it from a Christian God perspective, nah, God's spot on every time. The people who got it wrong are the raggedy ass pastors and preachers and teachers that are misusing the word of God to cause division and hatred, which is what mankind has used Christianity for throughout history. So that's where I land on that one. Right? Just saying. So this is the thing, folks. You have to be brave enough. You have to be courageous enough to question your most foundational teaching. And if you're not willing to do that, that's a problem. Do you believe something because somebody told it to you? Do you believe something because it's written in a book that was transcribed more than any other book on the planet? Do you believe it because it was written in a book that was used to justify enslaving and beating people? Do you believe it because it's in a book that was used to chase people out of the country and keep them in captivity? Do you believe it because it was written in a book that was used to oppress women and make them subservient to men? Is that why you believe it? You got to ask yourself why you believe what you believe, and it is scary to do. But when you do it, here's the beautiful thing about it. When you do it, when you question it, and you come out on the other side, there ain't nobody that can shake what you believe because you know it, because you have worked it out for yourself. I frankly don't believe that that God talks to a preacher more clearly or better than he talks to me, or she talks to me if your God is female, right? Nah, you don't have a better connection to the creator than I do. You don't have no damn direct access phone line. You don't have a preferred line. You don't have God on speed dial any better than I do. Better stop elevating men. And what it is it's the fact that people elevate those men, right? And those people, right? And that's why they get moved from parish to parish and church to church and cathedral to cathedral when they've committed sins and atrocities and assaults. And then they're hiding them because, oh my God, it would be so bad for the business of Christianity. So when we go back to, right? When we go back to when we go back to this conversation about DSD individuals, what does it mean? Differences in sexual development. And they can be chromosomal differences, right? The business of Christianity, the 501c3s, right? They can be chromosomal, they can be gonadal, they can be genital differences, and they can appear at birth, during puberty, or in later adulthood, because we don't know what we don't know. It is not like we do tests for every chromosome at birth. We don't. And it's not until some children go through puberty that we find out that their chromosomes are different. Right? So you might have people that have XY chromosomes but they have genitals that appear female. Guess who that is? That is Castor Semenya. Castor Semenya has XY chromosomes and she has female genitalia. That's what she has. Now, do you know why? She's not barred from competing. What she is, so it is that XY chromosome that gives her the testosterone, the advantage in running. So all she's been asked to do is to take hormone suppression to get her within the normal range of average women, and she can compete. She refuses to do so because she said, this is how God made me. This is how I was born. I'm not going to do that. And the Olympics say to her, well, listen, I know that's how you were made, but in order for us to make it a fair competition, we got to get you within at least the natural range. And she says, nah. Now, this is a woman that has been raised as a woman, got female genitalia. The difference, though, is her XY chromosome. And Black people were mad, right? Black people were mad. Now, you can't be mad. I'm fine with that if that's her choice, right? I'm fine with that. Now, Leah Thomas, who was born and identified as male, who went through the full transition and was on hormone suppressors for 2.5 years before she competed, right? Her actual her testosterone levels are actually lower than natural females. I am not saying that I blame her at all. I'm explaining to you the way that this shows up. And I'm explaining to you how it shows up in people that you would say are natural born females. That's what I'm saying. She didn't hit puberty as a male. She did not hit puberty as, are you talking about Leah Thomas or Castor? It does not matter, Desiree. It does not matter. If you do not have, right. So what is required for you to actually benefit from having bigger muscles? How do we make that happen? Because I'll tell you how if you don't know. So it does not matter that she went through puberty as a male, because for 2.5 years she has reduced the testosterone level in her body. Then the muscle that she went through puberty as a male is no longer building the same, because your muscles require testosterone in order to build. So because Leah Thomas has lower testosterone levels than males and average females, she does not have a muscular competitive advantage anymore. Did you just say, what about the skeleton? I can't with you. I'm not arguing about bones in the water. I'm not arguing about nobody's damn bones in the water. I ain't doing it. I ain't never said no. I have never seen nobody win a swimming race and say, thank the Lord for my bones. I'm not. She can look however she wants to look. I don't care how she looks. Without a higher testosterone level, you do not build muscle. And here's what I will tell you. Leah Thomas, let me ask you this. If she has such a competitive advantage, somebody tell me how many races Leah Thomas has won. Because I know the answer. races has she won? Y'all, she has placed 6th in races. Do y'all get that? She's won 4. She's only won 4. She's only won 4. And she has lost. She has placed 6th. She has placed whatever. Like, how this can't be that hard for y'all. She has actually finished last in the 100-meter freestyle in 2022. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all only want to focus on the handful of damn times she won, but y'all not worried about the dozens of times she damn lost. She's come in last. She's come in 6th. She's come in 8th. So why does her losing matter? The reason her losing matters is if you say that she has a competitive advantage because she was born a male, then she should be winning every fucking race. But if she ain't winning every damn race, and she's coming in last in some races, and she's coming in 4th in some races, and 6th in some races, then obviously it ain't that big of an advantage. That's the point. That's the point. So, for those of you all who don't know, if you are on Facebook, you can type in my name in the search bar. You can type in Danny Cook and then put in DSD, and you will see several posts that I have made about this, breaking it down for people. Leah Thomas took testosterone. She took hormone suppressions for 2.5 years before she competed. The NCAA only requires that you take suppressions for 1.5 years. She took them for 2.5 years before she ever competed. So, it's always interesting when people want to talk about things. And I'm just going to tell you, if the place that you are coming from is from a place of prejudice, I'm not going to argue with your prejudice. I will tell you facts, but I'm not going to argue with your prejudice, and I'm not going to argue with your faith. Period. There are approximately 134 million intersex individuals in the world. It's about 1.7% of the population, which is about the same number of redheads that we have in the world. How about that? So every time you see a redhead, remember that you're seeing the same number of intersex individuals. The difference is they not wearing they chromosomes, genitalia, or whatever on their head for you to see. So you can have 45X, which is Turner syndrome and variants. You can have 47XXY, which is Klinefelter syndrome and variants. You can have 45X, 46XY in the same individual. You can have 46XX, 46XY in the same individual. You can have 46XY DSD, when you can have gonadal dysgenesis, gonadal regression, ovos testicular DSD. You can have androgen biosynthesis defect. You can have androgen action, which is an insensitivity syndrome. You can have luteinizing hormone receptor defects. You can have anti-Mullerian hormone or receptor disorders related to that. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, if you are a redhead with Klinefelters, you are rare as fuck. Listen, don't tell too many people that. They might want to put your ass in a museum, Dilgrave. Don't tell them that. Right. And the list goes on. So this is the challenge to you, folks. If you find yourself feeling some kind of way about this, ask yourself why. Why are you feeling some sort of way about this? Right. Every time we get on this subject, do y'all know what I think about? Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. This is every time. Hey, Mila, come out the bathroom. Every time that we start on this subject and people start wanting to talk about this is what I think about. Every time. Y'all ready? Worry about yourself. It is not about fairness to the girls. That's just horseshit. And let me tell you why this is horseshit. What, baby?
Let me watch it.
Oh, her. Oh, you want to see her say it? This is her. Hold on. Mila want to say it. Look. You tried. So every time we start to talk about these issues, that is what I think about. Worry about yourself. Worry about the little girl that says, worry about yourself, Linda. That's who I think. Now, let me just say this. Because somebody said something and I was going to reply to it. Jeez, oh, Pete, who was it? Oh, this is it. When you say that this is about fairness to girls. Hey, Mila, stop. Let me tell you something. So number one, who are the primary people? No, I didn't call you prejudice. I said you have a prejudice against trans individuals, trans athletes. And a prejudice is a prejudgment about them. And you do. Your prejudgment is who they are, how they were designed, like how they were made, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether they should compete in sports. That's a prejudice. That is a prejudgment. Everybody has prejudice. You have a prejudice where they come, where when it comes to them. Yeah. But I didn't say you are prejudiced. I said you have a prejudice. I'm not going to deal with your prejudice. I'm not going to argue with your prejudice, which I'm not. You have your prejudgments. I have facts. And that's what I'm going to be talking about are the facts. So let me just be clear. When you all want to say this thing about, oh, it's about fairness to the girls, let me tell you why I know that's not what this is about. Number one, who are the primary pushers of this issue? Who are the people that have made this an issue? Who are the loudest people in the room about this issue? Answer. Who are the loudest people about this issue? White men. Right, Veronica, men. 100%. Men. So let me ask you this question. When have men ever been concerned about the fairness of women? If you want to talk to me about if you are worried about fairness to girls, then you would change SA laws. If you were worried about fairness to girls, you would change like marriage laws. If you were worried about fairness to girls, there would be no tax on period products. If you were worried about fairness to girls, we'd be getting paid a fucking equal wage. If it's about fairness to girls, I got some places we can fucking start. And it ain't with the 10 people that are in college athletics. That's how I know this bullshit is not about fairness to girls. They ain't never given a good damn about girls. If it was about fairness to girls, they wouldn't be blamed for their shoulders being out. If it was about fairness to girls, they wouldn't have their sexual history challenged when they're on the witness stand. If it was about fairness to girls, right? Right, Thea. If it was about fairness to girls, the ERA would be in the Constitution. If it was about fairness to girls, nobody would have been mad about the female soccer player who took off her jersey, still wearing a sports bra, while men are walking around in nothing but they damn Speedos, showing it all, taking their shirt off every damn time they want. If it was about fairness to girls, we wouldn't be harping on Serena Williams for doing the damn sea walk while you got John McEnroe that used to break his damn tennis rackets all over the place. If we're talking about fairness, this ain't about fairness. Never has been. So every time somebody says, oh, it's about fairness to girls, I do like this. I do the Matrix like this. And in my head, I go, you can miss me with that bullshit. That's what happens in my head every time. It's about fairness to girls. I'll be like this, doing my best Keanu. You can miss me with that bullshit. Here, baby. Yeah, the Matrix. Put these back, baby. Yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah. See, this is why you really have to think, y'all. You really have to think. Critical thinking is your friend. It is a great skill. It is nothing to be afraid of. And questioning your upbringing, your indoctrination, that is a good thing. Because here's what I know. If I only believe a thing because I'm scared to believe something different, that's a problem. Because I never want my choices to be fear-driven. If I'm scared to question something because of what the authority figures in my life as a child might think about me, I'm choosing from the wrong place. So, just telling y'all. And you don't have to like it. Here's what I would ask you to do. You disagree with me. If you are open-minded to facts, if you are willing to question yourself, put your ego aside, okay, then I invite you to go look up medical information about DSD and intersex individuals. I invite you to do that. And then go in listen, if you're on TikTok, there's plenty of spaces where there are trans creators that do plenty of educating. Go get some education. Go get some information. Desiree, apparently you missed a few things. When you say you've looked it up, looked what up exactly? Do you want to know how I know you missed things? Because what you kept saying well, he went through puberty as a male. That's what you said. Went through puberty as a male. But you said the muscle mass as a male. If you had looked it up and read past that, then you would know that muscle means nothing without a different level of testosterone in her system. So whatever you've looked up is not enough. Yeah, Lainey is awesome. Lainey's been on here. You did. You did mention her muscle build as having gone through puberty as a boy and developed the muscle. You did. Well, for fuck's sake, you did. Because that's when I said, that's why muscle mass doesn't make a difference. And you got my ass scrolling right now because I know what you said. And I'm still scrolling. Oh, dang. Damn, it won't let me go back no further. TikTok said, that's enough. It won't let me go back that far. But it is, because that is when I said to you, going through puberty doesn't matter. And that is when I asked you, that is when I specifically said, do you know what it is? Hold on, baby. Huh? You spilled it? Okay, let me get you one. And that is when, right, it was right before the skeleton comment. Thank you, Veronica.
My friend get the cellar one.
She don't want to get in the box. She says she's at work.
Choo-choo.
You did mention muscle. You did. You did.
Ooh.
Because that is when I said it doesn't matter. And that is when I said to you, do you know what's required for that muscle to matter after puberty? But you know, it's okay. I'm not mistaken. And let me just say this. If everybody else in here remembers you saying it, and I remember you saying it, and you're the only one who don't remember you saying it, there's a good chance that you said it. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because after you went from muscle, you went straight to, because you did puberty a couple times. You went from puberty to muscle, and then from muscle to skeleton. And that's when I said, I'm not arguing with you about no damn bones. That's how we got there. That was the sequence of events. I promise you did mention muscles. You know? So, yeah, I'm just saying. Right, Kelly, because then you said she still looked manly, and I said she can look however she want to look. Exactly. See, we all remember the damn conversation. Folks, this is so when I think about this, for me, while people are busy worried about whether these 10 college athletes should compete in sports or not, right? There are people literally taking away your damn rights, trying to take education away from your children, trying to take Social Security and Medicaid away from your mama and your daddy and your children, right? Can we find some shit to worry about that impacts everybody? That is actually life and death, that is truly important? Because this ain't that. This ain't that. You know? Like I said, I have a trans individual in my family. 100%. Love him. Love him. And he lives in the state of Iowa where his protections were just taken away as a trans individual. He no longer has protections from, harassment and discrimination and all of those types of things. And as soon as it happened, I texted his mom and said, I'm checking on y'all. And I'm going to tell you something. As quickly as they can go after a trans individual's rights is as quickly as they can come on yours. So, the thing is this, folks. I started this broadcast out by saying, don't watch the distractions. Trans is a distraction. DEI is a distraction. Woke is a distraction. Who benefits from these things? Who benefits? Who is standing in the wings ready to rake in the billions of dollars in these government contracts? And it ain't just all Elon. Ask who it is. Be about the business of getting with your local and your state representatives, your boards of education, and figuring shit out, and you get ready to vote. Uncle Bruce taught us a really good lesson, right? Uncle Bruce taught us a really good lesson. Every day, the media and Trump are blowing some new shit up, right? Just like in Die Hard. Every damn day, another building on Wall Street, on here, just shit just going all around us. Everybody is busy going, oh, look at that boom. Oh, look at that boom. Oh, did you see that boom? Oh, did you see this boom? Meanwhile, they driving straight through the country with big ass dump trucks full of gold money. I'm just saying. So, couple of things so that I can kind of clean, so I can just kind of be precise about things, right? And we can start to wind things out. So listen, folks. Everybody has heard that they plan to cut 70,000, 80,000, whatever thousand VA jobs, right? My question to you is going to be, what can you do about it, and what circle does it fall in? Does it fall within your circle of control? Does it fall within your circle of influence? What parts of it fall within your circle of influence? And the parts that don't fall within your circle of influence, leave that shit alone. Don't talk about it 24/7. Find those wins. Make time for joy. All the things that I've said. And again, the training that we did, the workshop that we just did 2 nights ago, Get Into Good Trouble, that is on YouTube. You can watch it. It will talk to you about a bunch of different ways to do letters to the editors, emails, phone calls, community forums, city council meetings, like your public speaking minutes and how to do it. All of that is in that training. Be informed and not overwhelmed. Yep. We talk about FOIA requests. We talk about how to use press releases. We talk about online petitions, whether to do online petitions or old-fashioned petitions, and when should you do which ones. All of that is in that workshop. You want to know what can you do? Watch that training and pick something. Yeah. I'm tired of hearing people say, what can I do? There's a myriad of things you could be doing. There's a ton of things you can be doing. Do them. So two of the 3 trainings are up on YouTube. I have not uploaded the third training. I got to get a new podcast episode recorded and out because it has been 8 days since the last one, and I need to get back to one every 4 days. The podcast will be going live next week. Some shows will have guests, some shows will not. There will be a number that you can call in to ask questions live. That's a thing. Thank you for subscribing, Michael Williams. I appreciate it. In my link tree at the very top, there's an icon that looks like a game controller. That is how you get into my Discord. You do not have to be a subscriber to get into Discord. There is a non-subscriber side and a subscriber side. There's also something that is in my link tree called Danny Cooks Folks, my email list. Put your information on there if you want me to email you. Newsletters are starting this weekend, right? So do that. I think right now there's almost 700 people on that email list. So join it, right? These are my socials. I'm at the Danny Cook on TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, Facebook, and Substack. The podcast is The Danny Cook Show. You can subscribe and download it all the places, right? This is how you stay in touch with me and we stay engaged together, all right? But we have a lot of work to do. Right now, in the link tree is the link that shows what percentage of your state's budget comes from federal education in terms of your school districts. And then I'm going to upload the Excel spreadsheets so that you can see what that equates to, how much of it is for special education that comes from federal funding, all of those things. Be in touch with your local school districts, your school boards. Find out how they are spending the money that's being allocated now. Do not wait. Do not wait for this shit to sneak up behind you and sucker punch you. Get in front of it. Get ahead of it. Let your people know. Let your local representatives know and your state representatives know you are not asleep at the wheel. You are paying attention. You see the dump trucks with the money and you are not here for it. Special elections. This is time. We could actually, do y'all realize in 3 weeks, we could pump the brakes on the House of Representatives? In 3 weeks, how nice would it be to not have a GOP majority in the House? District 1 and District 6 in Florida, let's go. Get on it. Write postcards, text messages, phone banking. You can go to mobilize.us and you can volunteer from your home. Pump the brakes on these idiots. Yep, Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. Let's go. Let's get into good trouble. Also, take some time for self-care. Get your feet in the earth, right? Get a massage if you need to. Do some meditation, some reading. Get out in the sun. Get some vitamin D3. Put some sunblock on when you do it, though. Right? Right. And remember, executive orders can't undo what Congress created. Get a pedi and your hair done. I'm here for it, red hot. All right? So take care of yourselves, folks. I will see you again. I may or may not be live tonight. Don't make me lie. Yep, download the Danny Cook Show podcast. So I don't know if you have to read. So folks, please make sure that you're checking your voter registration all the time, in all ways, in all things, in order to make things happen. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome, Blue Honey Pot. All right. I am out of here. I appreciate all of you all very much. I will see you different day, maybe same time. I don't know. You got a re-registration card, then re-register, right? Yep. Appreciate you all very much. Have a good one. I'm going to go take care of this little wild child I got back here and get ready because the other two are getting home in 15 minutes. So you guys are more than welcome. I appreciate you, and I will see you all soon. Peace. Whoops.